book lovers, it is G Swiss here, and I'm here today with my April TBR. Rightio, we've made it to April. My reading year has been going pretty smoothly so far. We have survived a quarter, and I don't think I have a specific theme to my reading this month, unlike the first few months of this year. In January, I literally wanted to read as much as I possibly could. In February, I decided to prioritize my contemporary romance TBR. In March, I specifically wanted to target some of the rare 2023 authors, and I still kind of do because rare technically happens later on this month anyway. But I kind of just want a well-rounded reading month. Essentially, I just want to read whatever I want and whatever I'm in the mood for, whether that be some romance contemporary, or maybe that's some manga, or just some fantasy romance, and maybe a reread in anticipation for a new release that is going to be dropping in April. So there's so much to look forward to in terms of my reading month. This reading month, as opposed to the other reading months I planned for this year, is kind of more like an ad hoc reading month, where I just put some random stuff on my TBR. I guess without further ado, I'll go through those books with you guys and let you guys know why I feel that way about the books that I picked this month specifically. That all being said, there are still some books that I specifically want to read in April, but I'm just going to show them to you. Let's go. The first book I've put on my TBR for the month of April is Monsters Born and Made by Tanvi Burwa. I honestly cannot recall whether or not I've talked about this on my channel. Maybe I've hollered it at some point. Fun fact, I know nothing about this book. I did not anticipate it. It just happened to be one of my monthly Bookish Box book picks, and it ended up coming super late because apparently the tip-in pages were held up in shipping. I mean, we received the tip-in pages, but we did not receive them in the book. I have like a signed tip-in page. Kind of a weird situation here. I do like the art on this edition though. I reckon that the end page art looks really cool. I'm not like keen on the dust jacket. Kind of wish that that wasn't a close-up of a monster. I kind of wish that we saw like a bigger scale photo, but this is what I like about the special edition in particular. And I also very much appreciate the spread. I reckon that that spread is really cool. I know nothing about this book. However, it's collecting dust on my shelf. I don't really have any motivation to read it whatsoever. There's nothing that's pulling me toward it. There's nothing that is exciting me about it. However, it does make me wonder whether or not this is one of those books that are just gonna take me by surprise. I really hope that this ends up being one of those books that surprise me. I know nothing about it. I just received it in my monthly Bookish Box, and it ended up being super delayed to the point that by the time this got given to me, the hype had died down. This is literally just one of those ad hoc books where I just decided I need to read it because I need to know what to do with this book. I mean, it's pretty and I could keep it displayed on my shelf. It's just that I need some proper justification for why I have it on my shelf in the first place. I mean, look, I paid for this monthly subscription, so yeah, that is on me, but I need to know whether I'm gonna like it or not. And another random book pick that I placed on my TBR is Marriage for One by Ella Mays. And this is the final Ella Mays backlist novel I have not yet read. I'm so looking forward to Ella Mays' new release that's coming out this year, but I want to get to her backlist before I commit to her front list. I cannot wait for that new release this year, and I love Ella Mays' writing. I find her writing to be absolutely comforting. I'm not gonna lie, The Hardest Fall was just okay. If you guys don't know, The Hardest Fall was the last book I read by Ella Mays. I actually read that in March. I was kind of expecting her standalones to be better than the love and hate duology, but turns out I didn't love The Hardest Fall. So we're gonna see what's up with Marriage for One, whether or not it is worth the hype. I do have to say, this cover is absolutely stunning, and I think it's my favorite cover out of the new Ella Mays covers that just came out. I'm very much looking forward to reading this one because regardless of the fact that I wasn't as much of a fan of The Hardest Fall as others who have read it, I do find Ella Mays' writing very fun and very comforting, and so I just really hope that this is a standout from her. But I mean, we will see. If not, then Adam Connor will remain my favorite by her. And speaking of romance novels, the next book that I bring up on my TBR today is Can I Steal You for a Second by Jodi McAllister. This is the second book in the Marry Me Juliet companion series, and I am so looking forward to getting to Can I Steal You for a Second. This advanced reader copy was actually provided to me by Simon & Schuster Australia, and this book actually comes out in April. He also made the two love interests in this novel in Here for the Right Reasons, which is the book that comes before it in the companion series, and in Can I Steal You for a Second, we follow Amanda and Dylan, and oh boy, I cannot wait to see how sparks fly between them. I was very anxious this when I was reading Here for the Right Reasons, because I wanted it to end in a happily ever after. I mean, I knew that Here for the Right Reasons was part of a companion series, but I was still very nervous about that book because I just needed to know that my characters were gonna be okay, and getting to meet the characters in the background, I wanted to know that they had their own story, and turns out they do. So Can I Steal You for a Second pretty much, I believe, picks up where the former book left off, or maybe, just maybe, we are going to see the same events told from Amanda's perspective, and we'll see how things go from there. Overall, I guess I'm just excited to see Amanda and Dylan's journey. I can't wait to read this one and let you guys know how I go with it. And speaking of anticipated releases, I have a book that I desperately need to reread before the sequel comes out, and the sequel is also the finale. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so devastating. I just hope that the sequel slash finale is just as good as this first book, and I want to reread this first book to relive the intense feelings I was experiencing when I first read it. And that, my friends, is The Blood Trials by N.E. Davenport. I read this sometime mid to end of 2022, like, I don't know, maybe August or September of last year, and it ended up being one of the best books I read last year. I love this book so much. I still think about it on a daily basis, and I pretty much devoured this entire book within one sitting, and it's a really chunky book as well. I believe that it's like almost 600 pages. The edition I have is like 500 pages, but it was a very dense and intense journey. I am so looking forward to this reread. I don't know whether or not I'm going to read it as intensively as I did last time. Maybe I'm gonna break it up into segments. I feel like this book had a chokehold on me when I first read it. I just could not put it down. I was compelled to keep going. And you know what? It might be the same situation this time, but we will see. And I am so looking forward to The Blood Gift, which is the sequel and the conclusion. I need to know whether or not this protagonist is going to be okay. I really want a little bit of romance between the protagonist and someone. Look, all I'm gonna say is their dynamic kind of reminds me of Triss's and Thor's from Divergent, but very different. Like, similar but different, you know? I'm not gonna read this book series for the romance though, because if anything, I'm just here to follow the protagonist. I need to know if I Cannot is gonna be okay. I am so deeply invested, and I seriously have to apologize for the person I will become when I'm in the middle of reading this duology. I reckon I'm just gonna be really intense because of it. And the next thing I've put on my TBR is a slight palette cleanser. I say slight because the last volume ended pretty intensively, and I am so looking forward to continuing on with the storylines, and I can't wait to see what goes down in volume 9 of Spy Family. Yes, Spy Family is back. I miss these characters so much. When I first read Spy Family, I was just so happy to be surrounded by these characters, and when I was first watching the anime, I just felt like the characters were always there to comfort me, and these days I don't get such a comfort anymore because I'm caught up on this series. I really wish that I had more Spy Family volumes to enjoy, but I just have to wait with the rest of the fandom for them to come out. Love Spy Family, love this series, love following Anya, Yor, and Lloyd, and I'm seriously so happy I have volume 9 in my hands. I cannot wait to read this month, and I reckon, once again, it's gonna be a good breakaway from some of the heavier reads that I have this month. Because speaking of heavy reads, I have the Touch of Darkness series that I would like to start putting on my TBR going forward. If you guys don't know, Scarlett St. Clair at the moment, look, I cannot trust these Babe announcements, right? But at the moment, Scarlett St. Clair is scheduled to come to Babe 2023. I am so looking forward to Babe 2023 if she's going to make it. However, if she's not coming to Babe 2023, oh well, I'm gonna have to deal with it. I have wanted to reread A Touch of Darkness and to continue on with the series for quite some time. However, I've had the series on my shelves for around 2 years now. Not these particular editions. I had the independently published editions before, but at the time I was collecting the books, there was an end in sight. However, it wasn't going to be anytime soon. From what I know at the moment, Scarlett St. Clair is concluding this series this year. So A Game of Gods, which is the last book in the Hades saga, and A Touch of Chaos, which is the last book in the Touch of Darkness series. Both books are going to be published this year, which means all 7 books in this universe, or at least following Hades and Persephone in general, are going to have their conclusion. And I kind of initially waited to be closer to the finales of both series, or at least have A Game of Gods out of the way first before proceeding on with the series. But I reckon that at the moment it's the perfect time to start my reread of A Touch of Darkness. I've only read the first book so far, and I actually enjoyed the first book, even though I found it to be dark at times. And I mean, this is an unpopular opinion. I feel like some people are on the side of Hades and some people are on the side of Persephone. I found Hades a little bit annoying, meaning I just didn't find him like wholesome at all. He had like one wholesome moment, but I reckon that he could have had more wholesome moments with Persephone, because I mean, we need need to see the relationship development between them two. I personally am a huge Persephone stan in the series. I love her development arc in this first book, but things could change with the future books. I mean, look, I recently read Queen of Myth and Monsters by Scarlett Sinclair, and oh boy, did the sequel taint the series for me. Like, I loved the first book. I loved seeing the development between the two love interests. I knew that they were gonna have like some sort of hate to love dynamic, but I've never been more against them now after reading the sequel. So I'm hoping that Scarlett Sinclair didn't do the same with the Touch of Darkness series. I have to find out for myself. I know they're gonna have some sort of conflict. They're gonna have some sort of back and forth. However, I'm actually very much appreciative that we are going to get some scenes from Hades' perspective in his own book series. So I am planning on reading the Hades saga as well, but I'm gonna start off with A Touch of Darkness this month. I don't know whether I'm gonna read more books by her this month, but what I do know is that I want to read a few more books by her before going to Babe 2023. Fingers crossed she does not cancel on me. And the final lot of books that I've put on this TBR today is a book series that I either want to start or complete this month. That, my friends, is the Demon Queen Trials by C.N. Crawford. I have wanted to read the series for quite some time, and when I heard that Fake Crate were gonna do a special edition set, I just thought to myself, well, I need to sign up for that. Like, I am desperate for these beautiful covers. Look at how stunning they are. I love the character art on these. The way that they're done, absolutely incredible. And what I also really like about these editions is that there's rose gold here, and they also have gilded black edges. Are they a different color in the light? I don't know, but I mean, here they look black. So I just love the design of this box set and this character art, and that definitely drew me to it. I mean, I heard about the series when it was first getting published. I've known about the series for quite some time, but I never got to it, nor was I motivated to read it because I am not really a huge fan of the original covers. Maybe it's the cover font that I'm not a big fan of, but when I saw that this special edition set was gonna go on sale, I immediately snatched it up, and now I've got to read it. I've wanted to read C.N. Crawford for quite some time as well. I have a few more book series on my TBR from them. Funnily enough, Camilo actually purchased me some C.N. Crawford books for my anniversary gift. So I technically have 3 book series by them on my shelves. I cannot wait to get to them, but I want to start off with the Demon Queen Trials because I believe this was the first series I was kind of drawn to from them. And I mean, I do want to read the rest of their series, and I do want to prioritize them some other months, but I guess that this being an ad hoc reading month, I just felt like I was drawn to this one more this month. So I don't know whether this will be a new favorite or not. We will see. And I just kind of have a feeling that I'm gonna love this trilogy. Is that weird? I feel like I'm truly going to love this trilogy based on the fact that I'm so drawn to it. I really hope it doesn't let me down. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you happen to stay till the end of the video, leave me the double pink heart emoji. And if you happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And also, I have social medias. I'm at GSwizzleBooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. And finally, I'm at TikTok. I'm at GSwizzle on TikTok if you want to follow me there for some bookish content. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.